Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Wray's Garage, where today we're going to do a very quick and dirty Macan oil change. This is a 2017 base model Macan, but the brake job, much like any other. At the same time, I wanted to show it to you because the oil change video on a newer model Macan had gone so well. So hopefully if that one worked for you and you're trying to go to the next level beyond oil change, this brake fluid change will work for you too. And also wanted to do a quick shout out to Vic Sorley out of Texas, who sent me a bunch of AMSOIL stuff this week. I will be testing that in coming weeks too, and got some fuel additive, some glass cleaner, and some mudslinger stuff. So we'll see what that's all about too. But in the meantime, let's crack on with a short and sweet video on brake fluid change for 2017 Macan. Thanks for checking in. Enjoy the video. So presumably you know that your brake slave cylinder is onto the front there, and you'll have to remove the front cowls to access that. I'm sorry I didn't have that on video. And then you take off the brake fluid filler cap, and then you got a monkey with this little filter, which turned out to be quite a bit of fun, and we poked through the filter edges. So try and target the thicker parts of plastic when you're squeezing that bad boy out of there. So next up, obviously you want to loosen up the wheels before you get the car up in the air, and then it's time to fill your vacuum filler. This is the most important tool for the project because that's going to be what puts the vacuum on the system that causes the pressure to push the old fluid out, and then at the same time push the new fluid in. This is a Schwaben tool. You can find them on Amazon for about $50, still not a big deal. So far on all the cars I've done brake fluid changes on, I've used 2 liters of fluid. So make sure you've got that all set. You want that fluid set in the vacuum filler before you begin, so you don't run dry, because then you start pumping air through your system, which obviously would not be a good thing. Here's just the installation of the pressurized cap. Make sure you get that on good and snug. Then connect the pipe to it, and then it's time to start pressurizing the system. Again, remembering that this bottle here has all the fluid in it. Yeah. It doesn't matter where, just have the right angle. Impact. You really need a kind of a snapping force though. Like that? Like that.
Right to the red zone.
Yeah, so we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Is the order. So we start from the furthest from the slave cylinder here, the brake cylinder.
Okay. The farthest away.
Farthest away. Then next, back to driver's side.
Okay.
So as you just heard, right now we're on the rear passenger side for the first caliper. Just take a small screwdriver to release the cover, and then you want to use your flared wrench to do the initial release of the thread there. And then I use a flat open-ended wrench, 11 millimeters again, for the remainder of the job, because if it just won't fit underneath my particular cap here that you see being inserted. So having that thinner flat one is how I kind of do the main part of the opening and closing, and then do the initial and the final with the flared wrench, so I get my teeth around more sides of that nut and we don't round it off. I have to confess to not being terribly scientific about how much fluid I pull out. As you know from the beginning, we put 2 liters in the fluid container, so I basically look to get somewhere between 400 and 500 milliliters out of each corner, and I know I'm pretty much on point, and that should flush the system more than enough. So you can see here we've arrived at the front of the car and now we're on the passenger side. Now what's different here is you have two release points. And it's best to start with the inboard side and then come to the outboard. Again, letting in aggregate about 400 to 500 milliliters out, but you want to let out of both sides of this caliper, and that is how the rears differ from the front. So hopefully you can kind of tell here we've got a couple of wrenches, brake clean, lots of blue paper towel, and then the vacuum unit in addition to the catch cans. That's about the short and tall of what you need for this project, above and beyond the equipment you need to race the car. Tell me when you get on, I'll repressurize you.
Yeah, it's on.
There's the motor in out of there.
I know.
So that's all four corners done. You want to depressurize the vacuum unit there and then start removing all of that gubbins, and then you will replace your filter and replace the cap beyond that. Once you have checked that you're at the appropriate level, which is obviously between the min and the max line, ideally favoring on the max side. Then you just get in the car, smush on that pedal a few times till it firms up, and the job's a good one. All right, I told you it would be short and sweet, and it sure was. Hopefully that inspires you to realize how simple it is with a couple of very easy tools, specifically the plunger to create the vacuum pressure you need in that system. But beyond that, you should be good to go. Thanks for checking in, everyone. Be safe, be healthy, be memorable, and be well, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye now.